The time has come.
On to World 2, which, just like Mario 2, is the desert-themed world. Peach did give us that item, so that's nice of her. She's not playable in this game, but, you know, at least she's still supplying us with stuff. And the desert world in this game features fake blocks, where these little Goombas are hidden inside these guys, and we gotta be sure to deal with them. And basically, the formula we followed last world is the one we're going to be following for most every world in the game, where we go through a bunch of levels, then we get to a castle where the king has been transformed, we go through an airship level, defeat one of the Koopalings, which in that world's case was Larry Koopa, I believe, and then we return King to normal, and Toadstool gives us a letter. And that's about it. There's a 1-up for beating the level and getting all 3 cards filled in. As you can see, the Hammer Bro doesn't change, or he does change where he is on the map, so you gotta be careful for when he's gonna walk straight into you, because that can happen. Oh, and looks like I'm not doing too hot here. Yeah, that's 1 of each. Level 2 of the Desert World. The Desert World also makes a bit of a change in that the whole world isn't on just one screen now, like it was in World 1. In fact, every world, I believe, is like that from now on. Mario 2... Oh, I missed the P-switch. How did I do that? Oh, hey, a 1-up. I didn't know that was there. As I was going to mention, Mario 2 had themed worlds, but they weren't necessarily as stressed as they are here, since you're, of course, exploring the overworld as Mario, and, you know, you're doing a lot of, like, Hammer Bro fights and bonus games within the world, so each world has its own identity that you're certainly going to grow to understand. Anyway, moving on to the castle here. Now, as Toadstool said in her letter, there are some new types of enemies here. We've, of course, encountered dry bones, but these here are thwomps who just crash down once you're near them. Oh, I lost my raccoon leaf. But more importantly are the introduction of boos here. These guys just chase after you until you look at them. Once you look at them, they're shy and they don't move. And that was kind of the advice she was giving us at their letter. If you turn your back, they'll come after you, all that. And the boos apparently were based on one of the developers' wives who was really shy. I don't know the full story with that, but some of the enemy lore in this game is interesting. Like, we'll come across another enemy in this world called Chain Chomp, who they have their own bit of story to them, but we'll get to them. As you can see, the castle levels are certainly the most fleshed out and, you know, intricate. In this instance, and I don't know why it took me forever to figure this out, but you're supposed to go on top of the spikes in this instance. Before I had always just, you know, gone under like I had with the first spikes, but I don't know. And it's Boom Boom again. Oh, I got hit. But this fight is getting really repetitive because every castle in the game has Boom Boom. And some worlds actually have multiple castles in them, so yeah, you fight Boom Boom a lot. Although there are some changes that Boom Boom gets along the game. We unlocked the door down there, which also unlocked a pipe and a Toad House. Let's go to the Toad House first so we can grab a power-up. We might as well use it now since we're Small Mario after that level. We got a mushroom. Okay, I don't have a problem using that. And even though it looks like power-ups would eventually fill up that area, it would just go to a second page, so you don't really run out of space, I don't think. Let's fight this Hammer Bro. And actually, instead of a Hammer Bro, it's a Boomerang Bro. I think that's their name anyway. He throws his socks at us, and he's not much of an issue. And we got the music box. Now, of course, there are power-ups that affect in-game stuff, like the stars and the mushrooms, and the raccoon leaf is the newest one, but there also are some items like the music box here which affect the overworld, seeing as how that's a new aspect of the game. But we'll get into how the music note works, even though I don't use it too much. And the star also, I believe, can shift out of the direction you want it to go, just like the mushrooms. Oh, I found a secret and then I couldn't make it to it. Oh hey, secret music block. And then another one. Alright, that just led to some coins. Actually, there's a bit of an issue you can come across in this level here. I believe it's in one of the upper areas you can fly to where you can find a P-switch, which of course shifts all the blocks to coins. But if you somehow go into that cluster, which would be coins, while the P-switch is activated, and then they switch back to bricks, you can actually trap yourself as Small Mario. A Big Mario can break the bricks just like the original Mario game, but some of these just turn out to be coins, and you can't actually break through. Alright, that's the end of level 3, and this is where we're going to be shifting the screen. Now, I ignored that pipe earlier. Ooh, another mash game. We'll get to that. I ignored the pipe earlier, but I believe that just leads to this pipe below me right here. So it's just kind of a shortcut in case you get a game over. Again, the door does stay gone once you beat the castle level. Alright, we know that that one's a fire flower. I think this one's a star. And these rewards we're getting are actually going to our inventory. Like, we just got a star power-up just now. There's a match. Oh, another fire flower. We don't know where that is. Okay. And then the ones we've matched already, like the stars and the 20 coins and the fire flower, those will stay matched. So, we're constantly clearing up stuff, and eventually, once we get it all done and over with, you know, it'll reset. This is a bit of a weird tile here. It's not a level, but it's not marked as a level. It practically is. This is a desert area where all we have to worry about at the beginning is just avoiding these piranha plants. And then this is kind of a weird part where you have to jump through a tornado. I don't really get that. But all we gotta worry about now is the sun. Really, we're just trying to get to the end of the level and avoiding him trying to kill us. It's kind of a weird enemy how the sun is attacking us. And something I hadn't mentioned earlier, which we did encounter at one point, I'm pretty certain, is that when you beat the level, all of the enemies who are on screen will turn into coins and give you points. So if we do that with the sun here, we can effectively kill the sun. The world is doomed now. Again, we get a choice of which level we'd like to go to, although honestly there's no reason to do level 4, since level 5 also leads to the spade game over there. They both lead to that pyramid and then eventually the castle. But we might as well go to this toad house first and use whatever we get. Oh, we got a raccoon leaf. Okay, I'll use that. Now, Peach did give us the power wing, which, the one thing with the power wing, it's essentially just a raccoon leaf, only you're constantly at maximum speed, meaning you can fly at any moment. So it's pretty useful, so I want to save it for some other point, because it doesn't last forever. Once you use it on one level, it goes away. Oh, and here's the other enemy I was talking about. These are chain chomps, who are based on a dog that attacked the creator of Mario, Shigeru Miyamoto. Which is why in later games, the chain chomps are known to bark for some reason. And down there, and hey, we got a vine. Returning from Mario 1, although now we can kind of shift along the vine. That doesn't really have much purpose. It works a bit like how it did in Mario 2. Again, that game had some influence into the series. Let's go ahead and give this spade game a chance. We did well the first time we did this one, but not the other time. Oh, it looks like we're already gonna fail. Yep, okay. Well, now we have this pyramid level, and this actually confused me when I first played. I didn't realize that this spot right here is a door. I don't know how, but I just didn't realize it. And hey, it's Buzzy Beetles from... Well, actually, we've encountered these guys, I'm pretty sure, but these are from the underground levels in the original Mario. This section, you either have to carry the Buzzy Beetles to the bricks so that you can have their shell break it, or if you have the raccoon leaf, you can just use your tail. Either way works. And there's a new type of Buzzy Beetle that just comes off of the ceiling and charges towards you like so. It's not too much of a threat, they're still pretty slow. And out of the level we go. And I can never seem to match the two items, can I? And you know what? I'm actually going to use the music box here. This is something we collected from beating the other Hammer Bro. Actually, you know what? No, I don't want to use that at all. But I'll explain. The music box, what it does is it makes it so that the overworld enemies, such as the Hammer Bro here, are gone. They go out of the way, and you can just go past them. But I kind of want to fight this one solely so that we can get that hammer there, which we can actually use to break these bricks. Like, you'll see the bricks right here, which we can break that one for a shortcut, ignore a couple of levels. But more importantly, we can break this brick up here with a hammer. And that leads to a secret area with a mushroom house, the Roman numeral 3 for some reason, and a Hammer Bro who we're going to fight down there for another item. I keep saying Hammer Bro, but they're not actually Hammer Bros in this case. I mean, do they have any other name? Oh, we got that suit, which I'll talk about next part. Oh, it's not the boomerang guy, it's the fire-shooting Hammer Bros. But, beating them, we get the magical flute, which we are never going to use for the entire game. So I might as well explain what it is here. The magical flute, which is now on our second page, we need to be absolutely careful to not use this. This is the warp spell, essentially, of the game, in which we can completely ignore a certain number of worlds. It's kind of complicated the way warps are used in this game. Like, you use the warp, and instead of just sending you to a chosen world, you can kind of pick. But hey, look at this! It's another king who's been transformed by a magical wand, specifically by one of the Koopalings. And I guess I didn't explain, the Koopalings are Bowser's new henchmen. They're 7 little Koopa guys who, you know, they just, they have magical wands in their possession, and they're doing no good stuff. They're not actually Bowser's kids, even though they are depicted as younger turtle people, and they are kind of similar to him in terms of, you know, how they look. Another airship level, an auto-scroller we need to be careful on. Oof. The Fire Flower in general isn't as useful in this game. I had mentioned how, in the last part, how a lot of the times you get the Fire Flower in these levels when, you know, you wouldn't be able to do anything to the bullets and the cannonballs anyway. But it's also the case with, like, a lot of the new enemies they introduced. Like, they introduced Boos, Dry Bones, Thwomps, they introduced some Candle guys who we'll get to in a bit, and the Fire Flower doesn't work against any of them. I mean, I guess I'm just happy it's back. But it's not nearly as fun or as useful as it was in the original Super Mario Bros. Also, here we have Monty Moles, these guys who just hang out underground and throw wrenches at us. And they can throw them at different heights, depending on where we are, so we gotta be careful for them. And just like with Bowser, we can use the Fire Flower to hit the boss a number of times, and that'll eventually do as much damage as just jumping on these guys would. But really, you don't want to do anything except jump on them. And that there was Morton Koopa. Morton Koopa Jr., I believe. But Morton, he's the ruler of the desert world. He doesn't have much different about him in terms of fight with Larry. Although there are going to be some Koopalings who have some different strategies that we'll get to, of course. And we save the king, who proceeds to say the exact same thing the last king said. At the very least, Peach's letters to us do change, and she gives us different items along the way. Greetings. You can stomp on your enemies using the Goomba's shoe. I have enclosed a jewel that helps protect you, Princess Toadstool, and she gave us the cloud.